Panihati. Panihati grame pailo Prabhura Darashana Panihati grame paila Prabhura Darashana Kirtaniya Sevaka Sange Ara Bahu Jana Kirtaniya Sevaka Sange Ara Bahujana Panihati grame paila Prabhura Darashana Kirtaniya Sevaka Sange Ara Bahujana Panihati grame paila Prabhura Darashana Kirtaniya Sevaka Sange Ara Bahujana Panihati grame paila Prabhura Darashana Kirtaniya Sevaka Sange Ara Bahujana Panihati grame paila Prabhura Darashana Kirtaniya Sevaka Sange Ara Bahujana Panihati grame. In the village known as Panihati, Paila got Prabhura Darashana, the audience of Nityananda Prabhu. Kirtaniya Sevaka, performers of Sankirtana and servants, Sange with Ara and Bahujana, many other persons. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In the village of Panihati, Raghunath Das obtained an interview with Nityananda Prabhu, who was accompanied by many kirtan performers, servants, and others. Please repeat this translation after me. In the village of Panihati, Raghunath Das obtained an interview with Nityananda Prabhu, who was accompanied by many kirtan performers, servants, and others. So this is the description in the Chaitanya Charitamrita of the famous Panihati Chida, Dahi Mahotsav. Actually, this original name of this festival is Danda Mahotsav, Festival of Punishment. Danda means festival, punishment. So why it is called Danda Mahotsav, Festival of Punishment? Let's hear from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Srila Prabhupada gives the background for this festival, this whole pastime, this whole incident. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, a great associate of Lord Chaitanya's, was a very rich man's son who had a beautiful wife and all other opulences. When he first met Lord Chaitanya at Panihati, a village about 40 miles from Calcutta. Now it's no longer a village, it's part of Calcutta city. It's Panihati. Those who have gone there can understand. It's on the bank of the river Ganga. Ganga in that area is called Hooghly River. So it's within Calcutta city now. Those days Calcutta city was much, much smaller. And this was just a village, Panihati. So the significance of Panihati those days, before even Raghunath Das Goswami, he was not a Goswami then, before he went and surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and left home for good. He was a householder. So Raghunath Das, before he met Nityananda Prabhu and that entire Panihati Chida Dahi Mahotsav took place. Before that, this Panihati was the place of Raghava Pandit. Raghava Pandit is one of the great devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Raghava Pandit's house used to be visited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and so many other devotees of Chaitanya, because he was regularly worshipping the Chaitanya and Nityananda, Gaur Nitai. So Raghava Pandit Raghava Pandit's house, even now it is there, near that place where the Panihati Chida Dahi Utsav took place. And one can visit even now that place. The descendants are taking care of the temple there now. So Nityananda Prabhu used to visit Panihati many times. So one such visit, when Nityananda Prabhu had come with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that's what Prabhupada is describing here, that when he first met Lord Chaitanya at Panihati, a village about 40 miles from Calcutta, Raghunath Das asked permission from the Lord to leave his material connections and accompany him. So Raghunath Das, right from birth, though he was born in a very rich family, he was not interested in worldly affairs. He was completely detached. So when he first met Lord Chaitanya at Panihati, he asked permission, let me accompany you, leave my house. The Lord refused to accept this proposal. Very interesting. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refused and instructed Raghunath Das that it is useless to leave worldly connections out of sentimentality or artificial renunciation. Actually, Raghunath Das was not artificially trying to imitate or make a show of renunciation. He was actually renounced. But through Raghunath Das, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us something, that don't give up all worldly connections out of some sentimental feeling of renunciation or trying to artificially renounce. This artificial renunciation, elsewhere it is explained by Prabhupada. There are many types of artificial renunciation. Real renunciation is one, actual renunciation. But artificial renunciation, there is something called Markata Vairagya, monkey renunciation. What is that monkey renunciation? A monkey, apparently, for an uninformed person, lives in the forest. He doesn't even have a house. He lives on a tree. He eats only the fruits that are available on the tree. He generally choose a fruit-bearing tree. He eats fruits from the tree. That's all he eats. And he doesn't even wear any clothes. Okay. So it may appear externally to an uninformed person, to a sentimental person, that monkey is living like a renunciant. But actually, even though the monkey is actually very simple in its living style in terms of eating, sleeping, its uh, its necessities, doesn't even have a house. But within the heart of the monkey is a very, very, very strong desire for enjoying sense gratification. So, a monkey is generally, a male monkey is accompanied by dozens of female monkeys, because very much the male monkey likes to enjoy uh, sex life, sex pleasure. So, uh, like that, those who have got material desires within their heart for sense gratification, but externally make a show that they are renounced by living in a forest, just having some very, very few possessions or no possessions, even just one cloth for covering uh, their body. And they eat whatever roots and fruits are available in the forest. And they are apparently practicing some form of spiritual life within the forest. But as long as the heart is not clean, free from the desires for sense gratification, generally it is found that most people, they are unable to restrain themselves from sense gratification. What is the reason people in the material world engage in sense gratification? Because of the strong desire within the heart to enjoy materially. That's a driving force. The contaminated heart. Heart means consciousness. The contaminated consciousness is the main reason why, even if we want to, we cannot restrain ourselves from sense gratification. And devotees have so much experience. And devotees who even sincerely, genuinely want to give up sense gratification, they find it not very easy to restrain themselves. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us through Raghunath Das Goswami that it is useless to leave worldly connections out of sentimentality or artificial renunciation. Okay, I was telling about artificial renunciation. Another type of artificial renunciation is called Falgu Vairagya. What is Falgu Vairagya? Srila Prabhupada explains this very wonderfully. In Bihar, there is one river called Falgu River. And this Falgu River, only in rainy season, you may see some water. Very less water. And after the rainy season is over, there is no water. So, when you go to visit that place where this river is flowing, you will see a dry river bed. Okay? Dry river bed, no water. And other seasons, especially summer, you don't see any water. So, somebody who is new to that place may think, if I had to cross that particular river, to go from one bank of the river to other bank, because person may be living here You may want to go to the other side, just across. It's not very wide. So you'll think, just let me walk across. But there's no water there. But as soon as he puts his foot inside, on the bank, maybe there is no water at all. But as soon as he puts his foot inside and tries to walk across, then his foot goes inside and gets stuck up there because underneath there is some water. So externally, it appears there is no water. But actually, beneath some surface, there is water. Similarly, the Mayavadis, their renunciation is called Falgu renunciation. Why? Because apparently they undergo severe austerities to become detached from all worldly matters. And they may even make progress in giving up all the gross type of sense gratification. And they may even living a very, very austere life, away from people and away from the city, away from family, everything. But they are giving up all these different types of other material desires for the sake of one thing. What is that one thing they want? They want to merge into God. They want to merge into, and their understanding of God is formless Brahman, impersonal Brahman, which is not wrong. One of the features of God or absolute truth is this Brahman feature, impersonal feature called Brahma Jyoti. This is the accurate understanding. Brahman feature in the spiritual world is correctly called not just Brahman, but Brahma Jyoti. So the Mayavadis, their desire is liberation. And what kind of liberation? Merge into that Brahma Jyoti. And why do they want to merge into Brahma Jyoti? Because they want to become God. So, even though the Mayavadis, they are free from all other material desires, they are actually not completely free from material desires. They have one material desire, that is to become God. So, this renunciation, this type of renunciation, because they really seriously undergo all kinds of austerities to become detached from everything else in this world. Give up all of their desires and severe austerities. Aruya krichrena param padam tataha. Bhagavatam says, even if they elevate themselves to the spiritual sky and actually become situated in that Brahman effulgence, Brahma Jyoti, but they cannot remain there. Patantyadho anadruta yushmadangrayaha. Because they don't take shelter at Krishna's lotus feet. The lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They fall down. They come back to the material world. So therefore, that renunciation, for the sake of merging into the existence of God, to Brahma Jyoti, especially that is the goal of the Mayavadis. That is also actually called artificial renunciation, Falgu Vairagya. Then one more Vairagya is type of artificial renunciation is called Smashana Vairagya. Smashana Vairagya is, Smashana means the crematorium, where bodies are either buried, dead bodies are buried or burnt. So when there is a death in the family, typically, then the family members, especially the very close relatives, or even sometimes the close friends of the departed soul, they'll all come uh, to express their condolence to the immediate uh, other relatives or family members. And then they sometimes participate in the funeral. So they will go with the dead body and actually burn it or bury it and then come back. So while they are there participating in this whole uh, funeral ceremony, especially with the dead body being carried, and then they begin to think, after all, what is the value of this body? So much I am attached to this body, so much I am working for this body. And what is the end of this body? Ultimately, it is going to perish one day, and it is going to actually be buried or burnt. It is discarded. Otherwise, it'll start smelling, it'll start decaying. So I should become serious about spiritual life. And I should seriously practice renunciation. Seriously, I should practice renunciation. And they are very much, apparently, they become very, very, very serious. And they kind of almost become determined that now no more this material enjoyment and material uh, entanglement. I should seriously make some program to renounce this entire material existence. And how long will this feeling, determination, etc. last? Till they come back from that cremation, they come back home. And then when they come back home, obviously they have to attend to immediate family duties or whatever their responsibilities. So it generally happens in most cases that whatever determination they had, whatever feeling of renunciation that had awakened in that situation, that is completely lost. They almost completely, why almost? They completely forget about this whole incident. After a few days, they are completely normal. Why them? Even the family members themselves, they forget the death of the father or wife or husband or whatever. They forget. And they live so-called normal life. So, this type of feeling of renunciation or some kind of desire for renunciation, or even for that matter, if somebody, after returning home after a funeral ceremony, they actually take some steps. They leave home and go away to some holy place, or they join some meditation class, or they start going for some discourses to some temple or some pravachan mandir or something. How long will that last? Smashana Vairagya means it will not last for a very long time. It will very soon disappear, this feeling of renunciation. So, this smashana vairagya is also simply artificial renunciation. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, particularly here, is instructing Raghunath Das Goswami and all of us through him, because he is already renounced actually. So he says, it is useless to leave worldly connections out of sentimentality or artificial renunciation. One must have the real thing at heart. If one finds himself entangled in worldly connections, one should behave outwardly like a worldly man, but remain inwardly faithful for spiritual realization. And this is exactly what Raghunath Das Goswami is instructed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, now you go back home. When the appropriate time will come, that time you will be able to join me, my mission, as a dedicated missionary. But now you go back home and live a normal life, so-called normal life. But he also advised, inwardly, you always be detached and you practice Krishna consciousness. Externally, you behave like a pound and shillings man, like a worldly person. So, one should behave outwardly like a, this is the instruction Chaitanya Mahaprabhu specifically gave to Raghunath Das Goswami. Outwardly, live like a worldly man, but remain inwardly faithful for spiritual realization. That will help one on the progressive march of life. That's what Prabhupada is telling in one room conversation. Another place, another room conversation, Prabhupada is telling, Raghunath Das Goswami happened to be the only boy of his father and his uncle. He was a very rich man's son, but he left home for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His life should be discussed as follows. From the very beginning, he was very much detached to worldly life. So his father and mother saw that this boy is very much detached. He should be immediately married with a beautiful wife. So that was done. He was given a very nice house and a beautiful wife, but still he was very much detached. And it is not possible for ordinary people. In spite of having a very, very, very rich father, having a lot of wealth, having a beautiful wife, still being detached, very difficult for most people. So it is further described by Prabhupada. When he was a householder, he met Nityananda at Panihati and he prayed Lord Chaitanya to take him with him. At that time, Chaitanya was sannyasi. Lord Chaitanya instructed him, don't be in a hurry. Gradually, Krishna will give you a chance to be aloof from these worldly affairs. He was very intelligent even though he was detached from worldly affairs. Please note this point. He was very intelligent. And from his activities, it appears that he was very intelligent also in worldly affairs. So, Raghunath Das Goswami was able to maintain inwardly that renunciation. Externally, he was doing all the family responsibilities because he was very intelligent. And Prabhupada says he was intelligent in worldly affairs also. And the example is, while some or other for political reasons, his father and uncle were to be arrested by the minister of the Muslim government, he made a settlement between the minister and his father and uncle. So in that settlement, he showed his worldly intelligence very nicely. He settled the matter. And his father and uncle were let go. So, Raghunath Das Goswami is teaching by his personal example. So, the details of the period between first time meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and actually going and joining, in between that, this particular Panihati Chida Dahi Utsav takes place. Now, how did this take place? Raghunath Das heard of Nityananda Prabhu's success in Panihati. Nityananda Prabhu always used to perform Sankirtan. He was accompanied by his associates, his entire Kirtan party. So they used to travel and preach, and a lot of pastimes are described of Lord Nityananda while traveling and preaching along with his associates. So one of the pastimes is this pastime of Panihati Chida Dahi Mahotsav. So the young Goswami, that is Raghunath Das, when he was a householder, he wanted to meet Nityananda Prabhu and serve his lotus feet, for he knew that one could get, or one could only get, the mercy of Sri Chaitanya by first pleasing his eternal associate, Lord Nityananda. This is the lesson to be learned from Panihati Chida Dahi Mahotsav for all of us. To this end, Raghunath Das kept trying to run away from home, but he was consistently dragged back by his father. Finally, his father would not allow him to go to meet Chaitanya or to join some Sankirtan party. So, because his father was restraining him, so when he said that I want to see Lord Nityananda, who's come very nearby, this Raghunath Das was staying in Saptagram, and Saptagram is very near Panihati. So when Nityananda Prabhu had come to Panihati and Raghunath Das came to know about it, so he requested his father, I want to just go and meet Lord Nityananda. So somehow Govardhan gave permission, his father, Govardhan Majumdar, very rich zamindar, super rich. How rich he was? He used to collect tax on behalf of the Muslim government. In a year, 15 lakh gold coins. The tax the rich zamindars used to give. And out of the 15 lakh gold coins, he used to give 12 lakh gold coins to the government. 3 lakh gold coins he used to have for himself. 3 lakh gold coins per year, those days. And do a quick calculation, how much is it? Even if you take one gold coin as 10 grams of gold. Today, 10 grams of gold is what? 60,000 rupees. So 60,000 into 3 lakh. Your calculator can't even give you a small number. 18 billion. 18 billion rupees. This is not some concocted figure or some exaggerated figure. It's a factual figure. 18 billion rupees was his father's earning those days. Okay. So you can imagine how rich was Raghunath Das. What kind of rich family he came from. Very, very, very rich. And he was known as, Govardhan Majumdar was known as a very, very rich zamindar during his time. Very rich. So such a background, if somebody has to renounce, they are truly already detached in their heart. So we should not imitate Raghunath Das Goswami. So when he got permission from his father, immediately he went to Panihati, found Raghunath Nityananda Prabhu sitting on a large rock beneath a magnificent banyan tree. Even now that banyan tree is there, under which Nityananda was sitting, and he blessed Raghunath Das. And this whole Panihati Chida Dahi festival took place. That banyan tree is still there. And Raghunath Das approached, and Nityananda was looking very, very effulgent. Koti Surya. Crores of suns if simultaneously rise. How brilliant will that effulgence be? So that's how Nityananda appeared. Because Nityananda is the Supreme Personality of God, the source of the Brahman effulgence. Source of the Brahman effulgence. Sometimes we hear people who are sentimental, they offer one prayer to Ganesha. I had learned this when I was a kid. What is that? Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha. They are praying to Ganesha. Vakratunda, that is correct. Mahakaya, okay, that's also correct. But this Koti Surya Samaprabha. Why? Because the Mayavada philosophy says that ultimately God is that Brahma Jyoti. Brahma Jyoti is Koti Surya Prabha. So they're equating Ganesha with God. And therefore they pray like that. According to Mayavadi is what? Everyone is God. So why not Ganesha? You and me are God. Why not Ganesha? So this is their fallacy. But when it is described in the scriptures, Vamandev, when he went to that sacrificial arena of Bali Maharaj, he went as a small dwarf brahmachari boy. But for a small moment, when he entered that sacrificial arena of Bali Maharaj, he displayed his Brahman effulgence. Everybody was completely, bewildered, dazzled, dazzling effulgence. Just for a moment. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wanted to show mercy to Prakashananda Saraswati and his whole 60,000 disciples in Banaras. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to meet this Prakashananda Saraswati on the invitation of one devotee of his, one Maharashtrian Brahmana living in Kashi, devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to meet that Prakashananda Saraswati. Then he just displayed for a very brief moment his Brahmajyoti effulgence. Prakashananda Saraswati and all the people assembled there, they became completely bewildered, astonished. And then after that, even though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking a very humble position, he washed his feet and sat near the foot washing place. Next to that he sat. Then Prakashananda Saraswati personally came and said, "Oh, that's not a suitable place for you. Please don't sit there. Please come and sit with us inside." I'll give him a respectable seat next to him. So the fact is that this effulgence belongs only to the Supreme Lord, and nobody else can display that kind of effulgence. Never possible. So Raghunath Das Goswami saw Nityananda Prabhu very, very effulgent and sitting on that rock with all his associates, surrounded by hundreds of dedicated devotees, were all expert in kirtan. Expert in kirtan. So Raghunath Das, he approached all these great souls along with Nityananda Prabhu and Nityananda Prabhu himself. So he paid obeisance to Nityananda Prabhu and all the devotees from a very far distance. One of Nityananda's associates pointed out, there is Raghunath Das. So then Nityananda Prabhu said, you're a thief. Come here, I'll now punish you. So Raghunath Das would not go near, very reluctant approach, out of humility. But Nityananda Prabhu caught hold of Raghunath Das forcibly, placed his feet on Raghunath Das's head and blessed him. Now, Nityananda Prabhu said, instead of coming near, you're going away from me. But I'm not going to leave you today. I'm going to punish you. And what is the punishment? Prepare a big festival and feed all of my devotees with yogurt and chipped rice, Chida, Dahi. So hearing this kind of punishment, Raghunath Das was very, very, very happy. And he organized, because he was a rich man's son. So what is the difficulty for him? Any amount of money is available. So he arranged to purchase all the available in that village, whatever Chida and Dahi is available, and some sweets and big pots. He purchased and got them. And when Nityananda Prabhu with his associates, so many associates, hundreds of associates, there was a preparation going on for feeding them. So people heard, oh, there is some big festival going on. All the people started coming. And Nityananda Prabhu, he will not simply sit there. It says, Raghunath Das saw Nityananda Prabhu sitting with all his associates. What do they sit and do? They'll be doing kirtan. So this kirtan is going on. But in addition to that, Raghunath Das Goswami is organizing huge preparation of prasadam, Chida Dahi prasadam, to feed all those associates of Nityananda and Nityananda Prabhu. So people came to know there is a nice festival going on. So the whole festival is kirtan and prasadam, only two things, nothing else. Okay. So that's why today, this is one of the, probably the only festival other than Govardhan Puja, where we don't have fasting before the festival. For the festival feast, we don't have fasting. Govardhan Puja also, what did Krishna say to the Brajvasis? Prepare nice prasadam and bring it to offer to Govardhan, because we're going to worship Govardhan. They were preparing some Indra Yajna, but so stop this Indra Yajna. Worship Govardhan instead of Indra. And how to worship Govardhan? Prepare nice, eatables and bring it and offer it to Govardhan. And after that, all of you can also have the remnants as prasadam. So Govardhan festival also is worshipping Govardhan hill. In what way? By preparing nice food stuff. And Govardhan is another form of Krishna. So offering to Krishna only in the form of Govardhan, nice prasadam items, nice boga. And then after offering, we partake the prasadam. So same thing. Panihati, Chida, Dahi, Mahotsav and this Govardhan Puja festival, both are actually only Kirtan and Prasadam. Only two things. Only two things. That's all. Of course, Kirtan is not just simply Kirtan. Kirtan means worship of the Lord. Primarily through chanting and dancing and offering this nice food stuff. But also, we can worship the Lord by bathing Him. Abhishek. Worship the Lord by nicely doing arati. So that is also worship. That is also puja. So kirtan, sankirtan specifically is not just chanting and dancing alone, but also prasadam distribution. And of course, this chanting, dancing, and partaking the prasadam feast is the main activity of Sankirtan. But accompanying this, there is also the other angas of sadhana bhakti. That's why Rupa Goswami describes sadhana bhakti as consisting of 64 different items. 64 different items, in which the most important is chanting, dancing, and partaking prasadam. Most important, these three. Then there are others, many other angas. So somebody who's serious about quickly making advancement will accept not only these three items of chanting, dancing, and partaking prasadam, but also the other angas of worshipping, performing arati, chanting japa, and associating with devotees, doing some practical seva to the deities, to the devotees, to the Vaishnavas, everything. So, even though the festival consists only of kirtan and prasadam, but still today we're going to have abhishek for Gaunitai deities. We're going to have, we're going to hear the katha of this festival, Danda Mahotsav. So now you understand why it is called Danda Mahotsav, because Nityananda Prabhu gave this punishment to Raghunath Das Goswami, and as a result of that, this festival happened. Now I'll conclude by reading the actual exchange between Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Das, and Nityananda Prabhu. So after this whole feeding happened, then before returning to Saptagram, Raghunath Das was fortunate enough to have an intimate conversation with Nityananda Prabhu while only a few other devotees were present. Approaching with humility, Raghunath Das uttered the following words. What did he say to Nityananda Prabhu? I am the lowest of men, the most sinful, fallen, and condemned. Nevertheless, I truly desire to attain the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like a dwarf who wants to catch the moon, I have tried my best many times, but I have never been successful. Every time I tried to run away and give up family relationships, my parents unfortunately kept me bound up, sometimes by force. Then Raghunath Das says to Nityananda Prabhu, without your mercy, no one can attain the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But if you are merciful, Even the lowest of men can attain shelter at his lotus feet. Although I am unfit and greatly afraid to submit this plea, I nonetheless request you, Nityananda Prabhu, to be especially merciful toward me by granting me shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In conclusion, Raghunath Das cried, placing your feet on my head, give me benediction that I may achieve the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without difficulty. I fervently pray for this benediction. Nityananda Prabhu was very pleased with this prayer. But he told his associates, Raghunath Das is accustomed to a standard of material happiness that is equal to Indra's, the most opulent demigod in heaven. Because of the mercy already bestowed upon him by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Raghunath Das, although situated in such material happiness, does not like it at all. Therefore, let every one of you be merciful toward him and give him the benediction that he may very soon attain full shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu, first of all, requested his associates, who are all pure devotees, that they should bless Raghunath Das. And finally, Nityananda Prabhu called Raghunath Das near him, placed his feet on his head. Blessing Raghunath Das, he said that very soon you will actually get the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will place you directly under the guidance of Swarup Damodar Goswami. Swarup Damodar was the private secretary to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, always with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, by placing Raghunath Das directly under the guidance of Swarup Damodar Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave personal protection to Raghunath Das. So, by Nityananda's mercy, actually, Raghunath Das was able to actually get Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's shelter. So that is the most important lesson for all of us, that don't try to approach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly. Approach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Nityananda Prabhu. And Nityananda Prabhu is very, very merciful. It's like Jagai and Madai. They got shelter under Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet only because of the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Otherwise, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was about to kill them. Similarly, Durvasa Muni was spared by Lord Vishnu in the form of Sudarshan Chakra only because of the mercy or the compassion of Ambarish, King Ambarish. So only through devotee you can get Krishna's mercy. You cannot get Krishna's mercy directly. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. So directly you cannot approach Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have to approach him through Nityananda. And to approach him through Nityananda means Nityananda is the original spiritual master of everyone. Because he is directly Lord Balaram. Balaram is the Adi Guru. And our spiritual master is the representative of Nityananda or Balaram. So we approach Nityananda or we approach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through our spiritual master, through the parampara, going up to Nityananda Prabhu. Through Nityananda Prabhu we get Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shit. We'll stop here. Panihati Chida Dahi Mahotsav ki jai, Raghunath Das Goswami ji ki jai, Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Krishna Balaram ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.